perfect Democrat Party presidential candidate. And by then, there'll be so many people with the same background as her voting. It'll be an easy slam dunk win. Very much like Obama.
Hey, Uncle Shady, where are they going?
Hey, you, get back here. The John Lebang Show will be right back.
Does your house need a paint job, but you don't want to do it? Then call Tom at Quality One Painting. He can handle all of your interior and exterior painting needs. He gives free estimates and senior discounts. Call Tom at Quality One. 313-982-2986. That's 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show, and it's so much fun.
Why you keep talking?
Oh, am I not supposed to?
No. Oh, back to John.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to a little bit of news roundup before we get into some other more personal and more maybe fun news. Kim Ding Dong and Donald Trump's summit didn't go so well. Trump left early. He said, screw this guy. I'm not getting what I want. And he kind of did a Reagan on Gorbachev and took off. He said, screw you. So we've got that in the news. Has the left excited that Trump failed at a mission? And then, on the right, they're like, well, Kim Ding Dong, he's just, you can't work with him. So you know how it goes there. Trump, I have to tell you, he was at the CPAC. That just happened. And I'd like to play you a little of what he said, if you don't mind. And it's only 1 minute and 31 seconds, but it's interesting how he puts these things. And here you go.
Our country's in big trouble, folks, because we have to get it back. And when I look at what's happening on the other side, I encourage it. I say, no, I think the New Green Deal, or whatever the hell they call it, the Green New Deal, right? Green New Deal. I encourage it. I think it's really something that they should promote. They should work hard on. It's something our country needs. Desperately, they have to go out and get it. But I'll take the other side of that argument only because I'm mandated to. But they should stay with that argument. Never change. Never change. No planes. No energy. When the wind stops blowing, that's the end of your electric. Let's hurry up. Darling, is the wind blowing today? I'd like to watch television, darling.
I wonder who mandated him. And is that the only reason you're taking the other side, Mr. Trump? There was some news earlier how he, back in the day, I think it was in the 90s, I don't have the article in front of me, but where he proposed more taxes to the rich people. He's always had a little bit of Democrat leaning in his thinking. And it's amazing the Democrats hate him so much. There's been a lot of talk because, there was somebody who got banned from CPAC for, I guess, harassing a CNN reporter because you can't ask a CNN reporter anything because they're there to ask you the questions. You can't ask them the questions. They're only there to report and not to give you any answers to anything. So this person gets banned, and which may be unfortunate for them, but they were touting all the great successes Trump has had during his 2 years as presidency. I don't see it as well as others. I mean, there are certain things like the moving of the embassy in Jerusalem, and even though he walks out on talks with Kim Ding Dong, he's done a heck of a lot more with opening talks with that guy than any prior president in my lifetime. So you got to give him credit there. He gave corporations a big old tax cut, and, well, we at the bottom have to wait for our mandate to be taken out, because we were promised that the mandate was gone. but now we're finding out that it's still there one more year, and now 2019 it's gone. That's what. But I thought we were promised in 2018 it was gone, but now it's 2019. Who knows? Now that Democrats are running things, we may never have the mandate repealed ever. Probably won't. In fact, they're pushing a single-payer health care system. Like, we should listen to them after the debacle that they forced on America called the Affordable Care Act, which didn't make your health insurance affordable, and it sure didn't make it fair for anybody. But to get back to Trump and his successes, his GOP his gross domestic product hasn't been that great. In fact, we've only seen a rise in the economy about 2.9%, which year by year is pretty good compared to Obama, but that Obama reached that peak, I think, in like 2015 or 16, 2015. So that was right at the end of the economy. So one could say that Obama left the economy and Trump hasn't improved it so much. One could say on the left, that could be a Democrat argument that Obama at least got the economy there for Trump to just keep it going. And Trump hasn't been able to improve on that. That's not me like stating that as fact. I'm just saying that a Democrat could have that argument and it'd be valid. So this booming economy that was promised hasn't quite been there. I mean, the stock market did good, and then it did bad, and then it did. Now it's like this with Trump. You're like on the open seas, just up and down and up and down. Some people like that volatility, other people do not. So the economy hasn't been that great, but Trump, who hasn't really, in my opinion, gotten much done outside of a few little things and some executive orders that can be written back with the next president. I mean, Ocasio-Cortez, when she wins in 2024, she can make all these executive orders come back that Trump eliminated. Maybe they'd be worse. I mean, Trump should have set a precedent, if you ask me, of not using the executive order the way he does, because now Ocasio-Cortez can use it like excessively, just like Obama used it excessively. But here Trump, this was like the last week of February, Trump goes out there and defends the LGBT community worldwide. He wants to give the whole world, them rights across the world in every little country, and the Democrats can't even give him credit for that, even though that's one of their major platform items. But because Trump is pushing it, they're just going to push it aside, ignore it, not talk about it, because that would give Trump credit for doing something that they like. Does anybody put this all together like I do? Trump acts like a Democrat, so the Democrats don't like that he acts like them, so they can't give him credit. And everybody who wanted him to do the right thing, the right thing, as in right wing, right thing, get it? Playing words there, having a little fun. Do the right thing. They're not getting much in return. They got nothing, hardly anything, during the 2 years where Trump and the Republicans held everything. Now the Democrats run one body of government, one body, and that's the House of Representatives. And now they've been able to get raises for all federal workers in a shutdown that turned out to be in a weird way, a strike to get federal workers an increase in pay, but Trump didn't get the money for the wall, so now he declared an emergency. Now the emergency is being fought. I mean, what good is it to work with Democrats if you can't get what you want, Mr. President? Unless you think like them. You know, really, really, you're going to get hate mail, John. I'm talking to myself now. You're going to get hate mail from the people who love Trump and think you're talking bad about Trump. I'm just calling it as I see it, folks. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know how the left hates Trump when Trump, on occasion, acts exactly like the left does. And I don't know how the people that voted for Trump can be happy with him when they're getting hardly anything of substance for their vote. And he's going to win again. Trump, take it to the bank. I don't know how the Democrats can beat Trump right now. He had a decent polling after the State of the Union. I mean, it was very favorable for Mr. Trump. Despite all the efforts on the left and the mainstream media to tarnish him, he still finds a way to cut through it all. I mean, you have to give the guy a little credit, if you ask me. No Democrat presidential candidate would be able to withstand this kind of scrutiny. They would crumble under it. And somehow Trump comes out and he looks squeaky clean all the time. I don't know how he does it. You got to give him credit for that. They should ask me this, but they're going to ask top experts. Congress is going to ask top experts for a plan to cut child poverty in half. Hang on a minute. First of all, we have to understand what child poverty is. And that's really parent poverty. The parents are poor for whatever reason. The child who is not allowed to have a job, according to child labor laws, the child who has come from a home where the parent, for some whatever reason there is, doesn't have a lot of money, is in a impoverished situation. And because of that fact, the child is left in a situation that the Democrat Congress considers child poverty. Now, how do we fix child poverty? Well, we call it what we call it. It's parental poverty. Now let's figure out why the parents are poor. Could be an excessive amount of taxation. That's, to me, at the top of the list. The government takes too much money from the people who earn it. And with all that money they earn, they still can't keep the books straight. They're in the red. We just hit another debt ceiling. So the argument over government shutdown is going to happen again. And this has nothing to do with Trump on this one. I'm sorry, Congress, that you can't keep your money balanced. You take in so much and you spend more than what you take in. It's not the American people's fault directly. It is their fault for electing you morons, you charlatans, to have control of the purse. As amazingly enough, the American people sent up Nancy Pelosi back to be the leader of the House, unbelievably. So that's the first thing. Second thing is personal responsibility from the parent. Go out and get a job that makes money. Maybe not have children if you can't afford it. We'll get into that in the next segment. We got more to talk about in the news roundup here, but we're not going to get to it all, so we're going to just hurry through. 2 Democrats show up at a climate change hearing, and Republicans shut it down because not enough people showed up from the Democrats. They didn't want to talk about climate change and what a solution that both sides could obtain. They only want their solution. Only want theirs. Only their way